Hello and welcome to another video blog post from cmsquickstart.com. Today we're taking a look at a very fun and useful little module that I had not used before until someone asked us to do a video on the popups API. I'd heard about it, knew basically what it did, but hadn't used it yet, so since someone asked, I've now actually found a use for it on a client site, so that's pretty cool. The popups API, as you can see here, is simply a module that gives you the opportunity to add pop-up functionality to various pages and links on your site. It does a lot. I'm going to touch just a little bit of it, scratch the surface, and you can check out the README file. I'll show you where that is and how to do that. And who are we? We are cmsquickstart.com. Do check us out. We have, I think we're up to 20 plus now. Themes, highly pre-configured and beautiful looking themes. Check out the Drupal themes right there, just a bunch of them. You can check out live demos of these to get a closer look at them. They have pre-configured content types, quick tabs, views, highly rated content, most viewed content, that kind of stuff. Really, really good. It really is the turnkey solution to your next Drupal project. Who am I? I am Doug Van. Check me out at dougvan.com for all your Drupal training needs. I've hit 8 camps this year, Drupal camps, and I have, I think, 3, 4, or 5 more coming up. Phoenix, Atlanta, Dallas. Dallas is next weekend, 2 weekends, so let's do it. But back to the popups API. Now, what I have done is I've taken the tar file here and taken it to my Sites All Modules folder and extracted it, and then went to my admin build module page, enabled it. Very simple. That's what we always do. Let's go over to dougvan.com and take a look at that. First thing I have to do is log in. Now the goal here is going to be for me to take this this contact me link, and right now it just pops up the form on a whole page refresh. I want to make that open up in a little modal, in a little light box, if you will. So what I have to do is, according to the README, let's take a look at that README. So over here is my Sites All Modules directory, and there's my popups folder. So you can see I placed the module where it belongs. And sometimes I'll do Sites All Module / contrib for these contributed modules, and Sites All Module / custom for all my custom work. But this is a very old site, and I was not doing that back in the day, so I don't have that available. So here comes the README file. I think every module, I don't know if there's an exception to this, but I believe every module that you will ever download should have a readme.txt, and the readme is one word, and it's all uppercase, and it'll oftentimes give you a lot of information, more information than you find on the project page, and more information than you're ever going to find on the help texts within the module. The various settings have a little bit of help text for you. The readme.txt will give you a clear indication of things. You can see this is very copious. This is very verbose. Lots of information here. So, important instructions. A lot of times, it's kind of an RTFM, read the frickin' manual. This is your manual, so if you have popups API questions, you might find them answered here. It talks about limitations, etc. There are programmatic ways of doing this, and explains that. And here on section 2, it says add the class equals popup to an existing link. And then either be sure popups add popups, which is a function call, is called sometime for the page, or use the scan all pages for pop-up links checkbox on the pop-up setting page. Well, I'm not doing anything programmatically, so I have no place to put a function in right now, but it says the option here is to scan all pages for pop-up links. Now I can imagine that that's going to give us a little bit of overhead, a little bit of time delay, a little bit of number crunching, maybe some database access, I don't know. But so if you have a large site with a lot of pages and a lot of users coming and a lot of volume of activity, it sounds like this may not be the best solution for you. dougvan.com doesn't get the traffic that maybe someday it will, so we'll take a look over there at dougvan.com. So under site configuration, we have popups. And it says scan all pages for pop-up links. So by default, when you enable the module, this is not set to be active. So we're going to turn it on. We're going to save configuration. Now currently I have no links on my site that have the class popups on them. If it did, it would pop up. So let's go back to the contact me, and it's not popping up. So that's to be expected. We haven't done anything yet. So and I do want to point out that it says here add the class popup, but actually it's popups, and you can actually submit a patch for that and say, hey, there's an error in the documentation. So there's 4 different ways to add the class. You can add all these different variations on the class, and it'll handle things very differently. So this popups API is very dynamic and very useful. So let's get about the business of making this contact me link pop up as it should. Now in my case, that's hard coded in my page.tpl.php. And here's my theme, and here's my class. So here's a class, so the anchor tag, and the class equals dvlinks, and then here's my contact URL. So I'm going to add popups as a class. Not pop-up, popups. I'm going to save this. And by the way, this is the Vim editor, or VIM. It's just the way I roll it. I just really like having instant access to my files on the server. And there's a whole bunch of keyboard shortcuts you have to learn to use this. I need to do a video on this. I've already had a couple people ask. So I'm going to save this. :W is my save. And I'm going to go back to my site. I'm going to refresh my page. And let's see what happens. Okay, now notice this. The About Me link, which is class dvlinks, the Drupal training, which is class dvlinks, the contact me is class dvlinks, and it's also class popups. And if you don't know much about CSS, you can add as many classes as you want to one element, but you can only have one ID. And then in your CSS, your classes are dots, and your IDs are hashes. So just a little bit of recursory information for you there. Look at that little box there. There's a little icon, little box, little symbol that now appears on this link, and I'll bet you know exactly what's going to happen when I press Contact Me. Boom. Here's the form. So straight and simple. You know, that's kind of snazzy. You can add this to your login. You can take the login form off of your front page, like is the case for me. Let me go ahead and close this. And there are other modules actually that'll do this for you as well. But if you want to have finite control of it all, you know, I have the login form chewing up space down here, and you know, I don't necessarily need it there. And really, my users don't. People that come to my blog don't typically, you know, log in or register. But I could just get rid of this and just simply put in a little login link somewhere. And when you hit login, it pops up the modal, the light box there, and makes it happen. So to review what we did, I added the popups class to this link and made it happy. Now I do want to show you one more thing, and I got to log in again. You can also use this in the context of putting in a link in your WYSIWYG or any place else you want to put it. For instance, I could create this block here, and this will be a quick tutorial on how to create a quick custom block. So add block, and drop down here a little bit, the block description. This is for the overview page, so I know which block it is. Call it pop-up test. And the block title, I'm not going to use a block title. And in here, I'm going to simply put href equals content who Doug Van. That's who is Doug Van, but Path Auto took out my prepositions. So what I have is the anchor tag. The reference is to content/who-Doug-Van, and the class equals popups. We know what that means. And the text is simply pop up. Then I close my anchor. So I'm going to save this. I could just as easily put on here a WYSIWYG editor, and there it is as well. So if you choose that and take a look at the link, it is content who Doug Van. And now we're going to save this block. And by default, our new block is not enabled. In fact, it is disabled. So I know it's called popups. There it is. So I'm going to throw it. Let's throw it in the first sidebar, called sidebar first. Okay, so we'll save the page. And after you save it, you want to drag it to the top, just to make it that much easier to find. So there's pop-up. This should go to the Who Doug Van page, and there's our little icon, little box. We click it, and sure enough, everything you want to know about me in a pop-up. That's a fun read if you haven't read that, by the way. So that's the pop-up API. Find it for yourself at drupal.org/project/popups, and check me out at dougvan.com if you're so inclined to do so. And spend some time and take a demo of our themes here over at cmsquickstart.com. There's more coming up every day. In fact, last quick note on this, $350 you can have a unlimited subscription to all of these themes, and as more of them come out, and more of them are coming out, you get access to them as well. You can use these as many times as you want for your client, and be sure to check out our other blog posts over at cmsquickstart.com/blog. Thank you.